we started looking at weathering the downturn, eager to investing in corrections and bear markets. And we talked about a few things. We talked about corrections, bear market, sell off, and things like that. And for anybody that has been in the stock market or that has been watching what's going on since about January, the stock market has not been doing well, mostly because of the tariff issues and maybe a few other things that have been going on. So we last time I mentioned that this is the time many people get out of the stock market. They just feel like, okay, they don't want to lose their money and they get out of the stock market. The problem with that, as I mentioned, is that you cannot time the market. You sell your stocks today thinking that, oh, you don't want to lose too much money. Let's assume that, okay, somebody invested $5,000 and now the value of the portfolio has already gone down to, let's say, 4,500. And the person is afraid that he's going to lose a lot of money. So the person decides to sell all his stocks. The biggest problem with that is that the market is never going to tell you when it will rebound. And by the time that you say, oh, you want to buy back, you would have missed some good days. And I did mention last time that some of the good days or some of the best days in the stock market happen in the bear market. And we saw that a few weeks ago when the tariff was postponed. That the day that happened, Apple had the price of Apple stock went up by, I don't remember by how much, but it was something that has not been seen in a long time. Like it went up a lot that day. And so you don't want to miss such days. That's why the best strategy is to stay invested. As I mentioned the last time, it's not just you, it's everybody. You think you have lost money, everybody has lost money. But if you stay invested, you will regain the money. I showed last time that the stock market never goes in a straight line. There are ups and downs. When there are downs and you sell your stocks, you may not be able to benefit so much from the upside. That's why the best thing you can do is to stay invested. For me, have I lost money since this started? Yes. Did I sell any stock? No. I kept all my stocks. I'm not going to sell anything. Now, I further I further told you some things you can do to stay invested and not just staying invested for your current portfolio. I mentioned that a time like this is a time to buy more. It's an example is, okay, when there's sales during Black Friday. The reason most people shop on Black Friday is that that item that they need is on sale. Let's say the price of a specific item, the regular price is $100. Maybe on Black Friday, the price is $60. Because of that, you buy. That should be the same in the stock market. When the stock market goes down, when the general market now, not just the price of one, when there is a correction or a bear market, that is the time to buy. Now, does that mean, okay, you buy today and then the price will start to go up tomorrow? Not necessarily. You could buy today and then it continues to go down and it looks like, oh, the money you just spent is going down or you're losing the money. Don't worry about it. I also mentioned, I'm just doing a few recaps before we go into what we are doing today. Then I did mention dollar cost averaging. So you have 5,000 to invest in this kind of market. Instead of just investing the 5,000 at once, you might say, okay, you want to invest, let's say you want to invest the 5,000 within a month. Let's say first week you invest 8,000. Second week, 8,000. Third, 8,000. Fourth week, let's say you invest 2,000. Or you invest 2,000 first week, the other weeks you invest 1,000. That's dollar cost averaging. When you consistently buy stocks within a period. Whether the price goes up or down, you still keep buying. That's a good strategy. If the price goes down, you take advantage of it by buying more. If the price goes up, then the ones you have already bought would have appreciated. Now, having said all of those, the main thing I want us to do today is to look at how can we actually buy, like, okay, in this period, because one thing is this, we don't know when this is going to end. It looks like things are improving a little bit, but you never can tell what's going to happen next week. In fact, you never can tell what's going to happen in the next 4 years. So, how do you invest? What are the stocks you can invest in? One thing that is important to know is that not every stock is affected equally. Now, I think the tariff for most countries, the tariff has been reduced for most countries except China. So that gives an opportunity to buy stocks of companies that are outside of the United States. Those ones may not be as affected as stocks of companies within the United States. And the reason is this, maybe the companies, a company like Apple, for instance, they make all iPhones in China. So if the tariff on China is going to affect them, unless they find another country to start making iPhone. So definitely Apple stock is affected by whatever is going on with the tariff. But are there other company stocks that you can buy that are not affected by the tariff, or the impact is not so much? That's what we're going to look at today. And I'm going to focus on 3 aspects. American companies that are not so much affected. Second, that's number 1. Second is foreign stocks. Meanwhile, foreign stocks have their own issues as well, right? But you have to be careful. It's a way to diversify. I mentioned the last time that one of the things you can do in this period is to diversify. Then the third is still whether American companies or foreign companies, we are going to focus on some sectors that may not be so much affected. For example, no matter what is going on with the tariff, you still use electricity at home. No matter what is going on, you still go to maybe Walmart, you still buy groceries. There are companies, even in the bear market, there are companies or sectors rather, there are sectors that still do well in the bear market. So those are the things we are going to do today. And today will be more of showing or demo. Most of the time when I show you something in here, I use Fidelity, but today I've chosen to use Weibo app. And I hope you can see my screen. I may move around a little bit. And what I'm going to show you, you will see it irrespective of what chart tool or what brokerage app you use. So I have a list of some stocks that are not so much affected by the tariff or that have recovered. I'm going to show them one by one, and that can give you opportunities. That can show you examples of some stocks you can buy that are doing well in this time period. Before I show you those, let me just show you a few things. Now, some of the things I'm going to show you today will be the things I will talk about when we go into fundamental analysis and technical analysis. So now this is Dow Jones. You can see how this line, you can say the bars are actually the prices of the stock. This is actually an index. This is not a stock. But for any charts you look, the bars are the prices. And then this line, this pink line, you can see here, it is moving average. 5 days moving average. I have the chart of 1 year and the interval is day. So I can choose any range I want from here and I can choose any interval I want. For me, when I'm trying to look at stocks, most of the time I look at the trend for 1 year. There are times that I change the trend, but most of the time I look at 1 year trend. That tells me what has been happening to a specific stock or security for the past 1 year. And that can help me determine, should I buy, should I not buy, what's likely going to happen. Right? That doesn't mean everybody that looks at this should always use the 1 year. Even me, there are times that I'm looking at something else and I'm going to use a different range. When we get into technical analysis, one of the things I'm going to mention is that two people can look at the charts for the same stock and get different insights. It all depends on the range. Both of them will be right, but one could think that, okay, maybe the other person is wrong, but both of them are right. It just depends on what range they are looking at. So for today, we're going to focus on day, and we're going to, 1 year, we're going to focus on day interval. If you want, we can switch to week, but most likely we'll stay on day. And as you can see here, it started, this is, since I said 1 year, today is the 3rd of May. So this is from 5/3/24 to yesterday, the last trade 5/2/25. Now the price, what was the price on this day? Was the that's 38,697, right? And you can see how it kept going on. The 52-week high, if you remember a few weeks, months ago, I don't remember the month precisely. One of the things I said I look at when deciding whether or not to buy a stock is the 52-week high, the 52-week low. Like how close to the 52-week high is the stock. Now, when I first started investing, a mistake I made was I used to buy the stocks that were closer to the 52-week low than the 52-week high. And my thought process then was that, oh, if it has been this high before, now it has dropped to this point, that means that it has the potential to go back to that level. But the more I learned about stock, the more I knew that there's got to be one or something that made it drop from that high to the low. That whatever made it drop, does that still is that whatever factor, is it still present? What's the probability that it's going to go back to that high? There are some stocks that never go back to their previous high. So later on, when I learned more about stocks, I discovered that it's better to choose stocks that are closer to their 52-week high. They still have that momentum. So now, We can see the 52-week high 45,000, and we can see the close as I yesterday 41,000. Right now, this is not my focus. Let's actually look at a stock instead of an index. So let's look at United Airlines, for instance. So the 52-week high here is 116, and then yesterday was 76, 75, something. So, and we can, some of the things I'm reading here, you can also see it on the left-hand side. You can see as I yesterday opened at 71.2, low was 71.24. You can see this is the previous close of 79.16, right? And you can see the aftermarket, it was 74.47, right? Now, you see the previous 52-week low, 37.2, 52-week high, and I hope you can see my cursor, is 116, which is the same thing that we see on this. This has dropped, United Airlines has dropped a lot from the 52-week high. Would I want to invest in this stock at this point? I'm not sure. Now, most likely, if you look at this, the 52-week high occurred sometimes in January, 122. That was around when the tariff thing happened. And we also know we've been hearing about plane crash and all of those things. People are not flying again. Now, I will probably not buy this. Now, under normal circumstance, is this the only thing I use to decide whether or not I'm buying stocks? No, this is not the only one, but it's part of it. Another thing I could look at is the analysis of the stocks. There are people you've probably been hearing about Wall Street. They are analysts in big investment banks that analyze some of these stocks. And they tell us, oh, they rate them, buy, sell, and things like that. If you go, this is the chart. You see a lot of tabs here at the top. This is the chart tab. If you go to analysis, you'll see that this is rated by. Even though I'm thinking that it has gone down a lot from the high, that doesn't mean that's why I say it's not the only reason I will not buy it now. Because yeah, I know that the reason it has dropped is tariff and because people are not flying. Not exactly a problem with with United Airlines itself. So if you go back to analysis, buy. Now, one thing when I'm looking at this analyst rating, there's one thing I always look at: the number of people that rated it. If only one person rated something buy, I would not give it that much what's it called? What's the right word to do? I will not rate it as so much important. Only one person or only just a few people. But 25 analysts have said that, okay, this is like the average of them. Some of them 60% say strong buy, 24% buy, and so on. So this is technically rated buy. And this can guide me that, okay, I think this is a good stock to buy. Another thing you want to look at is the price target. The analysts have come up with consensus of, okay, in the next 1 year, what is the price of United Airlines likely to be? And it's been divided into high, average, and low. The high is 130. The low is 42, and the average is 90. And you can see that it's a lot higher than the low. One of the ways this can guide you is that if you currently have United Airlines, by the time if it keeps dropping, right now we see that it has dropped a lot. till this point, but if you look at the trend, it seems to be going up again. Now, are they doing that? It's consistently going down. By the time it's starting to get to this low price given by the analyst, you know that there's a problem. So those are some of the things that could guide. There's some other things that could guide, which I'm not going to talk about today, is that you can actually use some like technical things to determine that, okay, should you buy? Is it likely to go up and down and things like that? But one of the most important things I use is just the trend. I can just read the trend right now, like, okay, from this 5.3 to this point, it was going down. From this point to the high, it was going up. And then it keeps going down until here, it looks like it's going up again. Now, if it helps, you can draw a trend line. Although you don't necessarily need a trend line to understand this. If you want to draw a trend line, every chart tool can be used, but in Webull, just make sure that this is highlighted. You can see it's in blue, it's highlighted. Then you click the trend line here. Now, you can draw trend line for different parts, or you can draw trend line for the whole chart. If you are drawing line from different parts, now, I'm not teaching technical analysis today. We'll get into it. And one of the most important things about technical analysis is to know how to draw your line, especially when it comes to the trend line. Now, to know how to position your trend line is very important. So we see this. Why is this? So I'm not drawing it perfectly, but again, this is not the purpose. I'm just showing you, okay, this is one line, this is another line. If you want, you can draw a line for this. Now, one of the things I'm going to talk about is where to play in technical analysis is where to place the line. If you notice there are times that some of the lines, some of these lines are below, some they are above. There's something called a resistance, there's something called support. You understand that? Again, I'm just showing this, it's not really what I want to show today. So you can see that we see a downward trend, we see an upward trend, a downward trend, an upward trend. We don't know for how long this upward trend is going to go, right? So, but if it continues to go, to continue in upward trend, that is good for us. But if it comes back, if it drops below that support line, that's a problem, right? But again, I'm not going to, this is not why I'm doing all of this today. So, but the main thing, and if you want, you can just drop, sorry, let me do one last thing before. If you want, you can draw this, draw it like this, or if you want to use the last bar, you can draw this like this. I'll draw this. Sorry, please give me one moment. Sorry about that. There's a reason this line is touching like the bottom of the bar instead of being anywhere. And right here, I'm only using this one, this yeah. So anyway, this is not what I plan to do today. What I plan to do today is to show you, I've already shown you, like right now we can see that there's been from the high here, the 52-week high, there has been a downward trend until this point when we see some upward trend. Is this upward trend going to continue? We don't know. Right. Now, again, if tariff really bothers you, and for the fact that nobody knows how all of these issues are going to end, right? Maybe United Airlines might not necessarily be what you would invest in right at this point. I'm going to show you another one that seems to be a lot affected by the tariff. You can see Apple as well. The 52-week high was on December 26th. And now we are below. The 52-week low was on April 8th, right? It's been dropping, and what we have right now is below the value a year ago, like meaning that the 1 year growth is negative, as you can see. So here's something else, another stock that has been affected by the tariff. We know, everybody knows that Apple produces iPhones in China. And a few other ones, you can see how negative. This is also negative 1 year chart. You can see where we started from, see where we are right now. It is negative. Now, let me see, do we have 1 year growth here? We don't have it on the right side. I don't see 1 year growth here, but at least we can see the, what's it called? The trend here. Let's go to Disney. See the same thing. First of all, 1 year growth is negative. Then secondly, from the 52-week high, it has dropped a lot. 52-week high was 118. Now the price is 92.49. You can see. Now, let's go into the main thing that I prepared for today. We've seen a few ones that have gone down in price in the last 1 year, and most of them, they had their high around December or January. By the time the tariff issue started, they started dropping. That's most of the stocks I've shown you have been like that. Now, are there stocks that do not follow that pattern? Yes. I said I'm going to focus on three parts. American stocks that maybe don't follow that pattern or they've recovered. I'm going to talk about some sectors that are still doing well, irrespective of what is going on in the market. And then I'm going to talk about some foreign stocks. Let's start with the foreign stocks. I'm going to give you a few ticker symbols that we can look at that shows us some companies that are not so much affected. So in Weibo, you can search, let me move this. Yeah. In Weibo, you can search for a specific stock if it's not on maybe your watch list. I'm looking at my watch list right now. If it's not on your watch list, you can search the ticker symbol here. So the first one I'm going to show you is SAN. So Banco Santander. If you want to, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. If you want to know more about the company, you can go to the profile. SA is a Spain-based company, but their stock trades on the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah, I don't know, is it New York or Nasdaq? Their stock trades in America, but it's a Spain-based company, and it's a bank. Let's look at the chart. All the other ones we've seen before, they will rise until December or January, and they will start falling. But look at this one. It did fall a little bit. It did not even fall until, look at December. That was actually when it started to rise. It fell a little bit down from March, beginning of March to April, but it started to go up again. You can see that this stock does not show any sign of effect by the tariff or whatever is going on. So if you are looking for foreign stocks to buy, this is a good one. It has gone up a lot since the last 1 year. And look at the 52-week high was actually a few days ago, 428. That was when it reached the 52-week high. So we are very, very close to the 52-week high. And remember, one of the things I told you is that the stocks that are closer to their 52-week high, they are better because they still have that momentum. So this is a good stock to buy if you're looking for one. Now, one thing I need to let you know about buying foreign stocks is this. If you buy foreign stock, there's something called ADR custody fee that they may charge you. The stockbroker may charge you that, but it's so small. They only charge that based on on foreign stocks, because there's a way. I'm going to talk about that later, but that amount is so small. It's just a few cents. It could just be 20 cents, 40 cents, and so on. Like I have some foreign stocks. I have never paid either custody fee of up to $1 on any one of them. And if I remember correctly, I believe they charge that every quarter. I don't remember very well, but I believe so. So either custody fee, even though it exists, it shouldn't be why you would not invest in a foreign stock. So you would have noticed some of these green, red things. When we get to technical analysis, I will explain what they mean. But one thing I've explained earlier is that the pink line is for the moving average. We can remove it if we don't want to see it. See, it's gone. But these candlesticks, they are what show us the price. They show the open, the close, the high of the day. Well, if you use the day interval and the low. But the main thing I want to show here is the trend. You can see that it just keeps going up. It actually gapped up a little bit here, but it just keeps going up. And this is not affected by the tariff or whatever is going on in the market. Let's look at another. I said today was going to be short, and I can see we've already spent 40 minutes. I have to be fast. Let's look at another one, mainly. Now, I like this stock because it's been going up a lot. The only concern I have with this stock is that sometimes it's so volatile. Sometimes it goes up a lot, sometimes, and you can see that in the trend, how it just keeps going up and down. But as you can see here, it's also not affected by the tariff. It's been going up. 52-week high, 2374, and now we're at 2280. We are close to it. So you can see this is not affected. Let's look at other ones. I have to be fast. BYD. I'm not 100% sure if this is a foreign stock actually. I don't think this is yeah, it's not a foreign stock. But anyway, let's look at it. So we can say this was affected to some extent of start coming from beginning in February, it started to decline. But then starting from the beginning of April, it started to go. And I said I'm going to talk about some of this green thing here. There are technical signals that tell us that, okay, this is likely to be going up. The green show us that they are telling us, they tell different things, but the uh, basic explanation is that for the green, they are likely to be going up. For the red, they are likely to be going down. And we can see there are a lot more green than the red. But we'll come back to technical analysis when I show you what each technical signal means. But anyway, we can say that it dropped, but it started to go up. Let's look at RYCEY. This is for Rolls-Royce. And you can see it's also not affected up till there was, it didn't quite drop till February. In February, it gapped up. I guess maybe Henny or something, it gapped up. The 52-week high was 10. Right now, we are 1041. Very close to the 52-week high. What else? CCHGY. This is Coca-Cola. I know of at least 3 Coca-Cola stocks, but so only one of them is actually for Coca-Cola. The other ones are just bottlers. This is one of the bottlers, and this one is a Switzerland stock. Let's confirm. Let's go to profile. Switzerland. Yeah, this is Coca-Cola bottling company based in Switzerland. And if we go back to the chart, we can see that the it doesn't generally one thing I've noticed about Coca-Cola is that the price does not vary so much, and that's why you see that the bars are so tiny, unlike all the other ones that we've looked at. But that doesn't really matter. What matters is the trend. You can see an upward trend from the year. The low 52-week low is here. Is not, this is even more than 52 week. This is 2023 and this is 25. Anyway, the lowest price in this chart 25.26 here, and the highest, this is the 52 week at 52 what's it called, 52.15, and the current price is 51.45. So you can see that this is also a good stock to buy that is going up, that is trending up. So that's all for the foreign stocks I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about some what's it called? Some sectors that are American companies that belong to certain sectors that are still doing well. An example I talked about, you still using electricity no matter what is going on. You still use gas at home no matter what is going on. So I'll focus a little bit on energy, even though we still have things like consumer discretionary and so on that are also not affected so much by the tariff. So let's look at GLNG, Gola LNG. This is a little bit volatile. You see up and down, and so on. But the most important thing is that it reached the 52-week high 2 days ago or 3 days ago. So we're at 52-week high right now. And you can see some of the green distance for the signal. So you can see this is trending upward. Let's look at utilities. This is also somewhat we can say that it's not so much trending, or it's trending sideways. If you look at this, it's more sideways, but at least it's not, we can see a lot of those green things. So if you look at the signals, this is likely to begin to trend upward. Again, I'll show you all of those signals later. But look at the 52-week high was 72.96. We are 68.43 right now. There's just a little difference between the two. The 52-week low was 50. So we are closer to the 52-week high than the 52-week low. FXU. First Trust Utilities. Again, the 52-week high was at 411, and that was 41.70 something. We are now at 41.53. Again, you see the upward trend. So those are the some utility stocks I'm going to talk about. Let's look at some regular American companies in different sectors that either have recovered or they are not really affected by the tariff. Let's start with Duolingo. Uh, I don't remember. Yeah, you see, it looks like maybe it was affected a little bit around February when it even gapped down until sometimes in March, and that's when it started to go up. It gapped up, and now yesterday it reached 52-week high. Spotify, I love this. There was a time that Spotify would just like it would almost every day. You can see, well, you see how much it's going up. See how much is going up. See the length of the of each of the bars, right? So you can see it's the 52-week low, 288. We reached 52-week high yesterday. At first, we reached 152-week high, but maybe because of the tariff or something, it went down. But now we just reached a new 52-week high. This one I will definitely recommend. I have Spotify, and my Spotify stocks I've gotten a good return on them. Now this one was going up till they reached this 52-week high, 837 some few, maybe 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure why it's been going down since then. And you can see some of these red things, a lot of them are red. I would say if you choose, this is actually a gold. It's a company. Let's look at the profile. This is another foreign stock, Canada based, a gold producer. So they are uh uh their this thing is based on gold. I would say be cautious a little bit. Again, for me, I started buying it sometimes ago, and I've gotten some returns on it. But if you are just buying, just be careful, because in the last few days it's just been trending down. So that's why I said about technical analysis, different people will see different things. So you see this line, if you actually, this is not, they should be like this. So if you look at this line, you say, okay, it's trending up. If you draw a shorter line from this high to this point, you could say it's trending down. But generally, it's a good stock. Let's say, do we have analysis for it? They said buy. They said buy. So although the current value is lower than the low price targeted. So if you choose to buy this, just be careful. BD BYDDY. This is actually a foreign stock. This is BYD Cars Motors. Let's look at the profile. BYD Company Limited, it's a China-based company. If you are looking for EV and you have issues with Tesla, yeah, this is a good one to buy. It's a little bit volatile, but it's still good. The 52-week high is 109, and right now is 99. So just $10 below the 52-week high. BBAR. This is also a foreign stock, actually, based in Argentina. And you see it dropped, but now it seems to be going up. It's in upward trend. ADP. Again, we have 52-week high. It dropped a little, but it looks like it has started to recover from the tariff thing. ABT, that should be Abbott. Yeah, Abbott Labs. Again, rose from 98 to 140. It dropped, but now it seems to be recovering from the tariff issue. We can Booking holding 52-week high here dropped. Right from this point, it looks to be trending up. I'm trying to be fast here. It's almost time. Well Tower, I believe this is a real estate company. Let's confirm. Yeah, residential wellness. Okay, residential wellness and healthcare infrastructure. Yeah, again, 52-week low of 101, 52-week high of 158, and then it seems to be recovering from the downward trend. FBTC. Now, I did not want to, I don't know where I put this. I don't want to talk about this, but let me just talk about it anyway. If you know how what's it called? Cryptos. You can make a lot of money from cryptos and you can lose money as well. For me, I don't invest in cryptos because it's just not, it's too volatile for me. But one thing I started doing not long ago is to invest in Bitcoin ETFs. And this is just one of them that one can invest in. I find it somehow safer, and until the tariff started, I set stops on not just my Bitcoin ETF, but almost all my stocks. I had to remove them because of the tariff anyway. But if you are the type that does not want to invest in crypto directly, you are looking for an alternative, this could be an alternative. One of the advantages of some Bitcoin ETF is that apart from them, an ETF, and we'll talk more about ETF, index fund, and all of them. ETF is like a bundle of stocks. So you have multiple stocks in it. Now, one of the advantages of some of this is that apart from them holding Bitcoin, they could hold some other assets that could help you so that maybe they won't be as volatile as regular cryptos. But anyway, I'm not sure why I put it there. I didn't want to talk about it. But anyway, it did drop. You can see from 98 the 52-week high, but it looks to be trending up again. Let's look at Fortinet, FTNT. Again, going from 52-week high of 54 to 52-week high of 114, it did drop, but now we are trending up from it. So some of these I've told you, some of them are not affected at all, or some were affected, but now they seem to be recovering. Does that mean they will never fall again? Not necessarily, but at least they are doing better than average stocks are are doing in this market. ESPO, this is a gaming company. See, it's not really affected because we can say it was affected a little bit. We had a 52-week high here, but it dropped. But now we have a new 52-week high here yesterday. Let me take maybe 3 more and then we close. Let's look at KO. This is Coca-Cola. As you can see, 52-week high, when was that? 417, and we are so close to it. You know, it's doing well. There was a time, I think it was around this time when it was dropping a lot. It was giving people a lot of concerns. It gapped up, and since then, it's been okay. Let's look at Coke. It's also a little volatile. 52-week high of 1458, and this is actually not trending upward at all. This is trending lower. For me, I won't ask you to invest in it. And if we let's look at the analysis. Okay, there's no analysis on it. For me, even though this is not trending up, I will still buy this because I've had it for maybe 4 years and it has always done well. So even though this is not trending up, I still personally see Coke as a good stock. Let's look at one or two more. Sorry. Let's look at Netflix. See, a few days ago, actually yesterday, we reached 52-week and a week as it. Since this day, we just kept going, reaching new 52-week high. Reaching new 52-week high since yesterday. I mean, till yesterday. Last one, I'm just going to talk on Palantir. This is also a good stock. Now the 52-week high was 125. We're at 124 right now. You can see it dropped from the 52-week high. It dropped it. Maybe it is something, even 60. Yeah. But it has started to recover. Let's look at the analysis. The analysis said hold by 25. You may want to hold. For me, I'm buying more of Palantir. But yeah. Okay. I think we're going to end here. We have 1 minute left. Does anybody have any question on this? I hope I achieved my goal. My goal was to show you how, even though the market has not been doing well, there are stocks that are doing well that you can still invest in. So I hope I achieved that. Any questions, any thoughts, anything before we end the session?
Thank you for showing us this in-depth analysis and how to at least the more healthier stock.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you
Yes.
so much, sir.
I'm following you and I'm getting all those informations. But no, I really miss a lot of time. But don't worry, I'll catch up.
Okay. And all of them all the sessions are on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll be following it.
Okay.
Oh, the analysis you gave us are very, very in depth and very useful.
Okay.
Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll be able to learn a
Oh,
whole lot too.
you're welcome. You're welcome, sir. All right. Okay. That is it for today.